Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we have another Christmassy reading vlog. I'm going to be getting into a few wintry holiday horror books, starting out with Candy Cane Kills Again. In my last wintry horror vlog, if you missed it, it was a previous episode of Happy Hailey Days. I will link it up above and down below. In that video, I read the first iteration and I loved it so much. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I went ahead and picked up this sequel for this video and I'm really liking it. If you missed what the first book is about, it is this super fun Christmas slasher set in the 90s and early 2000s about this massacre that happened in a house on Christmas night and took out an entire family. That house then got turned into an Airbnb and another unsuspecting family went to stay there and got slashed just the same, but we learn some hidden and twisty lore about our killer, who is Candy Cane. And there are some religious trauma implications with the spelling of Cane here. That is what we are getting into in this sequel. I am like halfway through on chapter 12 at this point. I just woke up this morning and started it out there reading with my coffee. And at this point, there is much less buildup than the first book. This one is a lot shorter, a lot quicker. It just like gets to the slashing and the action real quick. It is no thoughts, head empty, dumb little slashing, but there's actually like really crazy kills happening. I'm like kind of obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with Candy Cane and the way that this slasher just goes after people. And as I mentioned, we're getting into more of the like religious trauma elements that were brought up in the first book. And so we're basically just seeing all of these annoying church people get slashed to death. It's very cathartic if you have any religious trauma yourself. And we get the killer POV. I feel like this book is just much more about our slasher, our villain, than it is about the cast of characters, which is a tiny bit disappointing to me because I really liked the cast of characters. I talked about that a lot in my previous vlog where I read the first one. I like actually didn't want the people in the slasher to die, which is not typical of me with a slasher. So I'm wanting more from those core characters, but in the meantime, I'm liking following Candy as well. Hi vlog. Literally immediately after my last update, I just sat here and finished Candy Cane Kills Again. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It definitely was not as good as the first one, but I think if you enjoyed the first one, you would also like this one. My main gripe is just that we didn't get enough follow-up or closure on the characters that I liked from the first book, but it was a really good like lore and ending for our villain, who we gained more and more empathy for throughout the course of the slasher. Candy themselves is a really good slasher to drive this series, and we get like flashback chapters of Candy's experience growing up versus the slashing in present day. I love a killer POV, so I enjoyed that. Overall, it was short, it was exciting, there were some crazy kills, it was a good little wrap up for our villain, and it was decent. 3.5 out of 5 stars, nothing crazy, but I really liked it. And I still have a couple hours this morning before I have to like start work. I knew that I wanted some reading time, and I'm really glad that I'm gonna get it today. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my next little winter horror book here. We have Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown, and this is a YA, or more like middle grade actually, book about a little girl who goes with her best friend, like playing outside in the first snow of winter, and in the snow they find this uncovered abandoned grave. And not only do they find this grave, but they actually run into a little girl ghost out there. I don't know if they're gonna like make friends with this ghostie or what's gonna happen. I guess I'll find out. Hello vlog, it is a little bit later. I have just been getting some things done around the house this morning, but we're getting into the afternoon now, so I think I need to transition over into actually working at some point today. This is the struggle with working for yourself, like not having a boss. Is like, it's the best thing ever because I am such a little rebel. Like my little adolescent parts never shut the hell up. So if I had a boss, I would just be constantly mad at them and resenting them and not wanting to do what they say. But because I'm the boss, I can do whatever I want. And yet sometimes that means like I do nothing and I have literally no motivation, and it's like, oh, I have free will. I just unlocked my free will today and I think I'm just gonna read. And then what happens is I leave everything that I really have to do for Friday, and then my Friday that should be a celebration for the beginning of the weekend turns into hell. And especially with the holidays and everything, like I have such a busy schedule socially, like seeing people, gift exchanges, that I'm like, fuck, okay, I gotta lock in. So it's time to lock in, but before I do, I wanted to give you a little update about Forgotten Girl. I am probably a little over halfway through at this point. Let me see. Yeah, just a little bit over halfway through. I'm really liking this book. Our main character, Iris, is so sweet. She's just like this adorable little girl. She's so curious. She's so smart. She's so driven. I just really love following her perspective. And she has gotten it in her head that she is going to help this little ghosty girl that she has met. This book, I should mention, I know this is a horror vlog. This is not scary at all. Obviously, it's for children. So it's spooky and fun and wintry, and I think if you like spooky stuff and you want to read that around Christmas time, this is perfect, but it's definitely not scary at all. Anyway, Iris has gotten it in her head that she's gonna help this little ghost that she met, and she's gonna do that by recovering these graves and like having a proper burial for all the people that were forgotten. And she goes into like her town's history, which is very racist, and she finds out that these graves are not only abandoned, but they were done so intentionally to segregate the people that were buried there. Obviously, our main character, as you can tell by the girl on the cover, is black, and all the people in these graves are black as well. So she is like being a little advocate queen at such a young age, fighting for her community, standing up to remember the people that were intentionally forgotten. I just love her character. Like, she's such a little girl, but she's so strong, and she's struggling with like this stuff at school, this stuff with her family dynamic, and then this like greater arc of like things within the black community. I think this would be such a well-adjusted, like emotionally intelligent book to give to a child. I feel like if I had a daughter, I would want her to read this. Obviously, my daughter wouldn't be black, but I don't think that matters. I feel like it's really important for white kids and every kid really to have a level of emotional intelligence around bad, horrible things like racism and homophobia that have happened in the past and have been happening still today. So I just think this book would be really great for that, and also for like little black and brown kids to feel seen in that way. I don't know, it's like very sweet, and I'm like kind of emotional about it for some reason. I don't know, it's the holidays, like leave me alone. So it's like fun spooky vibes, but it's also just like very pure and heartwarming. And this was supposed to be a horror vlog, but I'm living a little. So I'm gonna eat my lunch and then hopefully try to lock in on some work. But if I come back with a reading update, y'all don't say anything, okay? Period. vlog. It is a little bit later. I actually did lock in. I did a lot of good work. I fed myself, which is really great. I've been doing laundry, which you can probably hear in the background. Like, I'm having a very productive day. I'm really happy with myself. I also finished Forgotten Girl. This was really good. The second half, we kind of like moved away from our main character and we got more of her like little bestie that she was running around with. So that was kind of an adjustment because I really, really liked her character, but it was still a really fun story. It was like a little fantasy, fantastical, very meaningful, kind of spooky. The stakes were high at one point and it was like pulse rushing, and we had the like meaning moral at the end of the story that we always get with a YA or middle grade. Overall, I had such a fun time with it. It was really adorable, and if you have kids, I really highly recommend this for Christmas if you have like a horror loving kid. I think this is great. I'm literally gonna keep this copy for if I ever have children, because low-key, why have I been feeling a motherly instinct? I don't know. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna process that right now, but this is a good one. So 4 stars, solid. Last book of the vlog. Why is it like day 1 of filming and I'm already on the last book? Like, she's a reader. The last book I'm gonna read is kind of horror, kind of not. It's kind of thriller, and I was informed that one of these books, You Better Watch Out, is written by an impractical Joker. James Murray? James S. Murray? Are we aware that this is Murr? This is Murr, my king. I love the Impractical Jokers, bro. I love the Impractical Jokers. I would die for Tonka Jahari. And you know what? I knew them before that. Because if you don't know Scoop Skip Potatoes, Scoop Skip Potatoes, Scoop Skip Potatoes, I don't literally want to talk to you. You don't know. You're not a real Joker. So once I found out from the comment section that this fucker that I've never heard of writing a Christmas thriller is Murr, I was like, I have to read this. I have to read this immediately. So this is what we're going with to round out today's spooky Christmas vlog. In You Better Watch Out, all of these strangers are kidnapped for an unknown reason, and they wake up blindfolded in this room, and it's kind of giving like Saw Trap. Like, they have to find out a way out, and it's gonna be during Christmas time, so I guess it's gonna be Christmas themed Saw Traps. That sounds so amazing to me. I don't know if it will be. I already read chapter 1, like I said, for my try a chapter video, so I liked it. I'm ready to dive back in, and we will see how it goes. Vlog. It is much later. It's after work, it's after dinner, it's after my little watch party movie, which we watched Christmas Horror Story, and it was so good. It was one of those movies that like is a million different little vignettes that you're switching between. I love those type of movies. It's like Trick or Treat. I love Trick or Treat. And it had some crazy twists. I was literally gagged. It's super late now because I stayed up fucking getting into this. Who knew Murr had some chops? Okay, I am 9 chapters in, so I guess like a quarter of the way through. It's really good. We have all these kidnapped baddies waking up together being like, who are we? Where are we? And they're in this like fake little town. Like, some psycho made a fake town for them to live in, and we just had our first death, and I was like, holy shit, like what's going on? Like, why are they here? How are they connected? Who is doing this? I'm so intrigued, but it's so late. I have to go to bed. I cannot stay up reading this. I can't. I have to make it to yoga in the morning, and I have early clients. I have to go to sleep. I'm really liking this book though, so yay for that. It's time for bed. Vlog. It is the next day. It's actually quite into the day. It's like 4 p.m. but I've had a super busy work day of sessions. I did get some time to read this morning after yoga. I did get up and go to yoga, which I'm pretty proud of myself for because I just had a lot to do. Mostly because I spent yesterday reading, but I did end up getting so much done, editing, sessions, etc. So we could have another evening of reading tonight. I've been on my reading shit, y'all, and I'm loving it. I am actually halfway through You Better Watch Out, a little over halfway through, and I'm really liking most of it. I have a couple gripes. There are really interesting kills. I like this idea of like this weird liminal space of like a forgotten ghost town that has saw traps built into it, and it's also like wintry, snowy, Christmassy vibes. It's very interesting. We're slowly kind of uncovering everyone's secrets as to why they might be targeted and brought into this death trap. What I am not necessarily liking is the pacing. It feels really weird and stilted at some points. Like, it doesn't have great flow to it. It feels like the scenes are very disjointed, and sometimes we get the occasional perspective, not even like a chapter, just like a chunk of a chapter from the killer or like the person who's creeping around the town, like coordinating everything, and that just feels really out of place. I think if it was structured differently, it could be really sinister and interesting, but it was just structurally weird. There was also one character that kept having like flashbacks of her experience, and I thought that that was really weird and disjointed. No other character had that, and it only happened a couple times and then it was over. So yeah, overall, like, pacing and structure is a little bit odd and hard to follow, but I am enjoying what's happening in the story, like putting together all the pieces, seeing the gory kills and the creativity of the kills. Like, this is definitely a mystery thriller with slasher elements, which is kind of perfect for me. So really enjoying it, other than those little weird structure things. I am probably gonna try to get into my book a little bit more before I have more sessions tonight. I'm just so sleepy, y'all. I'm just so sleepy. I might take a nap. Whatever, regardless, when I have more thoughts, I will let you know. Hello vlog, I am back to close out this video because I finished You Better Watch Out. I had some sprinties last night with the girly pops. We did some holiday fun things on sprints. It was actually the best time ever. And I got to finish You Better Watch Out on live stream. It was so much fun. And this book was crazy. I know I was feeling like I was having fun, but I was kind of lukewarm on it. No, now I'm obsessed. Now I'm obsessed. The gore in the second half of this book was crazy. The creativity of the kills. Someone was killed on a merry-go-round with a deli meat slicer. You can't make that shit up, except Murr from the Impractical Motherfucking Jokesters did. He did. That's crazy. And the ending twists were actually fire. Actually fire. Like, I think everyone should read this book if you like a funny, gory slasher combined with a twisty Christmas thriller. Like, if that sounds good for you, you should read this. It's honestly such a fun time. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. The pacing was weird at the beginning and it was kind of hard to get into, but once I was in, and the ending was worth it. So yay for Murr. All I can literally think about anytime I think about that man is blame it on the alcohol. Do y'all know that video where he's like pointing? Blame it on the alcohol. Overall, a pretty successful vlog. I'm really liking everything that I'm reading. All of this like wintry, Christmassy horror thriller stuff is just right up my alley right now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and got a couple good recs from it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And of course, don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys tomorrow for another Happy Haley Days video.